I love icebreakers. A lot of people don't. They think they're going to be uncomfortable or cheesy, but I'm telling you, after leading growth groups for as long as I have been and been involved in groups as long as I have been, there is something really comforting to people to be able to have the first question that's asked at a Bible study something that's easy for anyone to answer. It puts everybody's mind kind of at ease and starts the evening off on an even footing. So I really encourage you to consider icebreakers. I want to tell you some of my favorites. If your group, especially if your group's been around together for a while, or if it's new. But my favorite is one that involves music. I love music, so does my husband. And my favorite question to ask as an icebreaker is, what is your favorite all-time song and why? And it doesn't have to be something spiritual. Mine's a Michael Jackson song. So people, you need to tell people up front, it doesn't have to be something, Christian or spiritual. It's just your all-time favorite song. You don't have to overthink it. And people go around the room and tell why it's their favorite song. And then I have put together a playlist for our group so that when they come over to the house, I can play the list of songs that they talked about when we're having our social time at the beginning of our group. So that's my all-time favorite. But there are so many, and it's just easy to just start off by asking a simple question. What is your favorite indulgence food? If you could eat anything without worrying about it, what would it be? Or what's the weirdest thing that you've ever eaten? Mine's raccoon, if you can believe that. But my dad was a rural kind of guy, and so we ate a lot of interesting things. Beach or mountains? Everybody has a preference. Some people will try to straddle that fence, but it's easy. It's interesting to hear, people's ideas and their preferences on things. Best trip ever. What was the best trip you ever took? If you could have a superpower, what would it be? Mine would be flying. I would love to be able to just take off and fly around. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? What's the best news you heard this week? That's a pretty good one to kind of let people know what's going on with you that week, what your temperature's like as you enter the group that night. What was your first job? And what do you remember about that? Or your first boss, or your worst boss, or your best boss? Those kind of experiences. People like to share experiences and see what they have in common with one another. And it just helps people get to know one another better before you dive into God's Word. It's kind of like the appetizer before you get to the meat of the meal. So I hope that you will try some of these out. I've been in a women's group, and they ask a question like this each week. And it is just so entertaining to hear from other people. And it just helps people feel more comfortable and have the opportunity to maybe go deeper and be more transparent when you do get into answering questions about God's Word and application of it. So it's fun, but it also kind of helps usher in what could be a deeper experience. So I hope that you'll try some of these out. Thanks.